Your neighbor is standing at your door right now. He's not smiling. He hasn't slept in days, and he's holding something behind his back. 3 weeks ago, this man helped you move furniture. He brought your family dinner when you were sick today. He's a stranger, and you're terrified. This is month 1, not the explosions, not the missiles, not the moment everything started. This is 30 days later, when the real horror begins. When the people you trusted become threats. When the systems you've depended on your entire life are just memories. When you look at your children and realize you have absolutely no idea how to protect them anymore. 30 days. That's all it takes to erase everything human civilization spent centuries building, and most people have no idea what those 30 days actually look like. I'm going to show you, day by day, system by system, because understanding what's coming is the only way to prepare for it. And if you think this can't happen, if you think modern civilization is too strong, too connected, too advanced to collapse, you haven't been paying attention to what's already happening in the world. Right now, let's start from where we left off. The first week is pure survival chaos. We've covered that before. The panic buying, the empty shelves, the breakdown of emergency services, the first nights without power. That's the opening chapter. Terrifying, yes, but survivable, if you're prepared. Week 2 is different. Week 2 is when the psychological shift happens. That moment when the human brain stops hoping this is temporary and starts accepting this is permanent. And that shift, that single moment of realization, it breaks people. We're grown men who held it together. Through week 1, strong people, prepared people. They sit down in week 2 and they just cry, because they finally understand. The old world isn't coming back. I've read accounts from people who've survived real societal collapses. Bosnia in the 1990s, Argentina's economic collapse in 2001, the siege of Leningrad. Every single survivor describes this moment. This exact moment, when hope dies and reality takes over. One Bosnian survivor described it as feeling like someone turned off a light inside him. Everything went dark. Not outside, inside. That's week 2. And while people are dealing with that internal collapse, the external world is collapsing too. The food that was grabbed in week 1 is running out fast. A family that stocked up on 3 weeks of groceries in a panic. They didn't ration properly. They ate normally at first because it felt normal. By day 10, they're already running short. By day 14, the panic is back, but this time there's nothing left to grab. Water becomes the critical issue now. Municipal water systems in most cities have backup power for about 7 to 10 days. After that, the pumps stop. The treatment plants go offline. And the water sitting in pipes, in water towers, in home systems. That's it. That's all there is. A city of 1 million people, suddenly fighting over whatever natural water sources exist nearby. Rivers, lakes, streams, they become lifelines overnight. But they also become battlegrounds, because everyone needs them. And not everyone plays fair. Medications run out in week 2 for most people. Think about how many people in your neighborhood are on daily medications right now. Blood pressure pills, insulin, antidepressants, thyroid medication, heart medication. These aren't optional. These are survival necessities for millions of people. And by day 14, those medications are gone. Pharmacies were emptied in the first days. Hospitals are either destroyed, overwhelmed, or functioning without supplies. The medical system as we know it simply doesn't exist anymore. And the human cost of that, the actual human cost, is staggering. People who are perfectly healthy with their medication become critically ill without it. Within 2 weeks, that's how fast it happens. Week 3 is when the social contract completely breaks down. The social contract, that invisible agreement we all make to follow rules, to respect each other's property, to treat each other with basic human decency. It exists because we trust the system to enforce it. Police will come if you break in. Courts will punish you if you steal. Society will reject you if you hurt others. Remove those enforcement mechanisms and the contract dissolves. Not for everyone. Most people are fundamentally decent. But you only need a small percentage of desperate people making desperate choices to make an entire community unsafe. And here's the heartbreaking part. The people doing desperate things in week 3, most of them aren't bad people. They're parents trying to feed their children. Their spouses trying to save their sick partners. They're ordinary people who ran out of options and made choices they never imagined they'd make. The father of 3 who breaks into your garage looking for food. The teenager who steals medication from an elderly neighbor. The family that takes over an empty house by force because their own home is no longer safe. These aren't villains. They're victims of circumstance making choices that victimize others, and you will have to make decisions about how to respond to them. That moral weight, that burden of choosing between your family's survival and another person's desperation. That's the true horror of week 3, not the physical danger. The moral impossibility. Community groups that formed in the first weeks start fracturing now. The initial spirit of cooperation, neighbors helping neighbors, sharing resources, organizing watches. That starts breaking down under resource pressure. When there's enough, people share. When there's not enough, people protect what's theirs. Trust becomes the rarest resource of all. By week 3, sleep deprivation is universal. You're not sleeping properly because you can't. Every sound at night is a potential threat. Your body is running on stress hormones constantly. Your immune system is weakening. Your judgment is deteriorating. And you're making critical decisions every single day under these conditions. The exhaustion alone changes people. It makes them irritable, irrational, paranoid. Relationships that were strong crack under sleep deprivation and constant stress. Arguments become explosive. Small disagreements become serious conflicts. The patience and perspective that hold relationships together, they evaporate when you haven't slept properly in 3 weeks. Week 4. Week 4 is when you see who people really are. The masks are completely off now. The social performance of being a good neighbor, a reasonable person, a law-abiding citizen. Nobody has the energy for that anymore. What's underneath is all that's left. And what's underneath varies enormously from person to person. Some people become remarkable, genuinely remarkable. They find leadership they didn't know they had. They organize their communities with skill and compassion. They share when sharing is almost impossible. They maintain their humanity when everything is pushing them to abandon it. These people, they become the foundation of whatever comes next. Others become something else entirely. Power vacuums fill fast. When formal authority disappears, informal authority takes its place immediately. And the people who step into those power vacuums aren't always the people you'd choose. Strength, ruthlessness, willingness to make hard choices. These qualities rise to the top in week 4. Not wisdom, not compassion, not experience, raw capability and willingness to use it. So what's actually left to civilization after 30 days? Physically, almost nothing of the modern infrastructure survives functioning. Power is gone. The communications are gone. Transportation networks are collapsed. Supply chains are destroyed. Financial systems are meaningless. Legal systems have evaporated. Medical systems are gone. Educational systems, government services, emergency response, all of it gone. What remains are the bones. The physical structures, the roads, the buildings, the bridges, they're still there. But the systems that made them useful, the networks that connected them, the people that maintained them, those are gone. And what replaces them? People do. Humans are extraordinary survivors. We rebuilt after the Black Death killed a third of Europe. We rebuilt after World War II, leveled entire continents. We rebuilt after collapses and disasters throughout all of human history. We always rebuild, but rebuilding takes time. And in that time, in that gap between the old world and whatever comes next, in those 30 days, what survives is purely human. The knowledge in people's heads, the skills in people's hands, the relationships between people who chose to trust each other, the values people refuse to abandon even under impossible pressure. By day 30, new structures are emerging. They're primitive, they're flawed, they're often unjust, but they're functional enough to keep people alive. Small communities with informal leadership, trade networks based on useful goods and skills, security arrangements between neighboring groups, rudimentary systems for managing shared resources. The civilization that emerges from month 1 looks nothing like the one that existed before. It's smaller, harder, more brutal, more immediate, but it's alive. And the people in it, the ones who made it through 30 days, they're carrying something. Forward, they're carrying the knowledge of what was lost, the memory of what civilization felt like, the understanding of what needs to be rebuilt, and the desperate hope that one day, somehow, they'll get back to something that resembles the world they knew. That hope, that stubborn, irrational, beautiful human hope, that's what's left of modern civilization after month 1. Not the buildings, not the systems, not the technology, not the infrastructure, just people. Scared, exhausted, grieving, determined people. Holding on to each other and refusing to let go, and honestly, throughout all of human history, that's always been enough to start again. The question is whether you'll be one of them, whether you'll have the preparation, the knowledge, the community, and the mental strength to make it through those 30 days. Because month 1 is survivable. It's brutal and it's heartbreaking and it will change you forever, but it's survivable. And everything starts with deciding right now, today, before any of this happens, that you're going to be prepared. That you're going to build your community. That you're going to develop your skills. That you're going to be one of the people who makes it to day 31, because day 31 is when the real rebuilding begins. And the world is going to need people who still remember what's worth rebuilding.